better mute our microphones. That'd probably be a good idea, right?
Wild, weird, wonderful, the stuff for which movies were made. Adventure, to make you wonder if it's true, while your eyes convince you that it is. Truly, the thrill of thrills. Don't miss it this time. Thank you.
You're convinced that the thing on this table isn't human?
Its cries are human.
You know what it is, what I began with?
No.
An animal? Well, we may as well discuss this frankly, now that you know the facts. I wanted to prove how completely she was a woman.
I'm not beaten. Get everything ready.
For what?
This time I'll burn out all the animal in her. I'll make her completely human.
Good evening, goblins and ghouls, and welcome to the Friday Night Scream Stream. I'm your host, Spakenstein, and I'm joined as usual by my very good friend, Mr. Evan Sink. How we doing this evening, Evan?
We are doing well.
Doing well, enjoying this Earth Day. I don't know.
Yeah, it's Earth Day today.
Yeah, we haven't talked about that. It's kind of easy to slip by. I don't know. Some years Earth Day is super prominent, and some years we just...
It shouldn't be as forgettable of a holiday, I think.
No, it's very important.
You gotta live up Earth Day. It's important.
When it was first started, it was all about the importance. Like, this is very monumental day, and every year we need to be thinking about what we need to do to save our planet. Because in the 70s, they were already worrying about overpopulation. I'm about to go into a whole tangent about Earth Day, which we don't need, because although I will say tonight's film is certainly appropriate. Fresh. I see Fresh is in the house. We certainly got some nature themes going on today, or tonight, this evening. Enjoying some good old-fashioned public domain horror movies, bringing them to you every Friday, just relaxing. And tonight's film is titled The Ape Man. We had a question in the chat. It's The Ape Man from 1943, starring Bela Lugosi. This is our second Bela Lugosi movie of the stream, and we'll have one more before this season wraps up. So, like I said, he's certainly the most prolific actor on the show. That, by far, I'm pretty positive. So you're going to be seeing a lot of Lugosi. We're going to get a lot into Lugosi's backstory, his life story. Certainly this episode provides a lot for us to talk about because this was made during a very interesting time in Lugosi's career. Yes, Fresh did see the Nick Cage movie.
What is that called?
It's called Massive Talent, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Much better
Great title.
than Morbius. And
Morbius.
yes, Fresh gave us a little scoop into Morbius a couple streams ago when he saw that. And we were actually talking about it last night. And the plot to tonight's movie actually shares a lot of similarities with the film Morbius insofar as mad science experiments and S-Sync is in the house. Sierra. Yep. Right. I don't. Yes, Jack Nicholson is a big name. Or, he hasn't been anything in a while, so. But he still goes to Lakers games and stuff. He still sits courtside at Lakers games with his son.
You can be retired after you've made,
Right, you earn it. Him and Gene Hackman and all these people that have brought us great roles. They deserve to live well into their retirement. Unfortunately, Bela Lugosi was not one of those people. Bela Lugosi had to work and work and work and work and work and work and work right up until his death, and for various reasons and
with various people
various
going out
people
on a strange note, but
yeah, certainly ending your career with Ed Wood is not right. You have to be hungry, and certainly Lugosi was. That's the thing about Lugosi
was on the grind.
Well, he was always waiting for that big part that would change the trajectory of his career and bring him back, kind of a certain level of fame that he certainly had in his home country and in Hungary, and he would, when he had Dracula, certainly experienced a lot of fame, but very quickly saw that that only carried him so far, and certainly there were other things, other limitations, and he's just got a very unique story. So we'll be diving into Lugosi's career tonight. We'll be talking about. Again, this is by the same people that did the other Lugosi movie that we watched, Voodoo Man. It's the same director, William Bodine, the guy who did Jesse James Meets Frankenstein's Daughter. It's one of the same lead actresses from Voodoo Man. And this is actually a year before Voodoo Man. This was shot the year before Voodoo Man. So certainly,
is this Poverty Row?
Yeah, this is Poverty Row. This is the same studio, Monogram. He did 9 movies for Monogram, and this is towards the back half. And a lot of people have different things to say about the quality of this movie. It's certainly you'll be.
How does it stack up to Voodoo Man?
I think I've said it before. I think Voodoo Man's got Ape Man has a better ending. Voodoo Man, I like the style, I like the cast. There's just more to there's just a little more to kind of keep you invested. And
the guy doesn't just get shot at the end.
Right. Well,
or does he? I don't know.
It's certainly no. It's better than that. It's better than that. And It's all of these movies are going to have abrupt endings. We've discussed this. These Bela Lugosi Monogram movies, all these Poverty Row movies.
Everything on this show.
Most of these old movies wrap up like that. So quick. Yeah, it's pretty much it's all a dream. Not this, but a lot. That's how Caligari was, right? Yeah. Essentially, Caligari was, and it was all in this crazy guy's mind. But it's a silent movie, so it's hard to follow, and so you know, luckily, we're not in with these Poverty Row movies, not in for those kind of twists. Here, they don't pull the rug out from under you quite that much. So
they just kind of end.
And
they
it
just kind of wrap up.
Kind of ends. It's always how it is. And I will say, there's an aspect of this ending that is kind of infuriating, and you'll find out why. Like it's just like, oh, like,
so
why?
Keep that in mind for later.
Just a little tease for the ending. If you stick around for the ending, you're gonna
be mad about it. That's all we can say.
Yeah, you're gonna be like, I mean, there's the climax. There's good stuff, but the very ending is kind of like, throw your hands up. You know?
Okay.
And so we're in for a treat. Again, Lugosi doing his thing, chewing up the scenery. It's going to be a good time. So, last week, Evan, you weren't here with me.
Yeah, I hate that I missed it. I really do.
We watched Bucket of Blood, drank a bucket of blood.
How was the Bucket of Blood?
I'm not like a Bloody Mary person, and I was just lucky.
I'm kind of glad I missed.
I was kind of lucky to just have the ingredients around, but
not a Bloody Mary person.
I'm not a crazy Bloody Mary person.
How much did you just make one, or did you drink it?
We really hate it. I had two. I drank. I mixed myself enough for two, and I drank. Okay. I drank as much as I mixed myself, guys. On this stream, no matter if I don't like the drink, it doesn't mean
just drink it anyway.
Like if the drink tonight has curdled by the time it hits my mouth, that doesn't mean that I'm not gonna. I'm going to stop drinking. I'm going to keep drinking.
One thing I have considered for this segment is that it does kind of, whenever I'm, over here in the co-pilot chair, I have the unique ability to be able to poison Garrett if I want by giving it. We were watching a few weeks back when we were watching Jesse James meets etc. I considered going with a drink called the Cowboy, which is just half and half in whiskey.
Ooh,
just because I thought if I pick this, Garrett has to drink it. Like he's like contractually obligated. He has to do it.
One of these nights you're gonna have to put me in the hot seat. What else am I here for but to just make the cringiest faces every time I have to take a sip of something that maybe it just isn't.
Someone in the audience, like present or future, is yelling at me because maybe half and half and whiskey are really good. I don't know.
If I could blaze up, if I could smoke a Marlboro in here and drink at the same time, I would. I've got to pull up the chat for Evan. I'm just realizing that Evan doesn't have the chat.
Blind.
You didn't say anything to me, Evan. What are you doing here? You can't see what Fresh is saying. You can't see what.
I gotta know more about this Nick Cage movie.
Right. Well, I mean, I know Fresh has got the ends on that. All right, let's see. I'm popping out the chat. I know Fresh has got. Okay. I hope y'all didn't hear any kind of feedback. Okay, I'm gonna send this to Evan, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys he's probably gonna have to adjust it with the mouse. So if I have to hand him the mouse and we're doing stuff, ignore that. He's gonna do that. He's gonna get the chat ready, and then we'll get into the segment. Which I'm just to say that I'm happy to have Evan back because I also picked last week's drink, and that was a whole thing. Nick Cage forces his daughter to watch Caligari, and she hates it.
That's so topical. We just watched that.
That is crazy to me. That is like so Fresh told us this, texted us this before the stream.
I almost thought he was kidding about that.
I kind of did too, but I believe it. Caligari, I don't know. It's popped up as a reference in recent things.
I gotta say, out of everything we've watched, nothing has really stuck with me like that movie. That's a good movie.
It's all about the visuals. They design the visuals psychologically to get in your head and to stay with you, and they do that. It is so cool. I believe Nick Cage is
a film nerd would love
huge
Caligari,
film nerd.
Right?
Absolutely. He's a huge film nerd. His family is the Coppolas, like Francis Ford Coppola, and Godfather, all of that. That's Nicolas Cage's pedigree kind of is. So he is very knowledgeable, even though, again, and if you've seen his recent interviews, he has nothing but good things to say about the video on demand stuff that he's done. He's says it's some of the best work, and there is some stuff that is.
I saw,
totally.
I've been seeing Nick Cage articles popping up. People are talking about.
Well, this
it
movie, I guess it premiered this weekend. I don't think it was last weekend. I think it premiered this weekend. Echo has entered the chat. The gremlins are back. So that's wonderful. So, I'll just be doing my same old bullshit to play with that. And so while I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Evan for tonight's installment of
Hopefully Not Echoey. What were you drinking?
What were you drinking?
So,
Sorry. You got it.
Okay, so tonight, we're watching the Ape Man. I feel like I've been pulling some fairly obscure drinks out for these movies. This is a pretty well-known one, but definitely delicious. I love it. You probably love it. Dirty Banana. It's really good. It's it's rum, Kahlua, banana liqueur, a little bit of dairy, and it's a frozen drink. So
frozen.
We haven't done a frozen drink
here
yet
tonight. No, we haven't, and that's so it's a change of pace. And you said we have done a rum drink.
I thought we had. I thought maybe our first one was, but I really can't remember at this point.
What was that? The Voodoo? Is that what that was called?
Right? Was that the?
I don't remember what it was. I don't remember what was in it, but it was good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very excited for the Dirty Banana. Which, in hindsight, don't isolate that as a soundbite.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Do you want to say that again? Just a nice clean soundbite.
Okay, here we go. All right. Okay. Awesome. Nice and frozen still, so that's good.
Yeah. Got a lot of ice.
Of ice.
Keeping it cold.
Hell
and,
yeah. I'm excited. All right. Cheers.
It's basically like a banana smoothie.
Ooh,
it's like a
yeah, it
boozy
is.
Banana
It is.
smoothie.
Very banana. I really can't taste the alcohol.
Not really,
at all,
no.
Which is dangerous.
Dangerous, but
it's getting dangerous up in here. And also, again, I like to do this. I like to remind people. About the rules for the drinking game. If you play along with that, it's always good to drink in moderation. But I bring these rules up just to say you never know when a skull's gonna pop in the screen. You never know when somebody's gonna scream or people are gonna be laughing. But drink in moderation. We're running a show, so we'll be drinking in moderation. So please do the same. Oh, very good, Fresh. Very, very good. Very nice.
great.
The wonders of technology and to be able to do that so quickly. Fresh, I don't know if we've had any improvement on the audio front. I did some things, but I doubt that helped. But, certainly we'll play with it as we do. We'll try to work them gremlins out of the machine, but you know how it goes. Yeah, okay, so this drink is fucking delicious.
It's very good.
I must say.
You really can't even... It just tastes like something you get from the mall kiosk. Get this banana smoothie, and we'll see. There is definitely some alcohol in that. Should I tell the audience about my banana liqueur mishap?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Tell them all about it.
So I get here and I start to make the drink for the show, and I realize on the bottle, I'm looking at the bottle and I think, isn't liqueur usually has like a low... Liqueurs usually have like a lower alcohol content, right? And I'm looking at the bottle says it's 99 proof. So in my defense, as I was telling Garrett, I go to the beverage store, and there are 2 liqueurs on the shelf. And following the recipe says that cheap liqueur is just bad. So if you don't cheap out on the banana liqueur. And so I get there. There's 2 on the shelf, and I don't realize that there's the cheap one and then the slightly more expensive one that is all alcohol. Apparently so. Of course, you can't taste it. Yeah, you really can't. I mean, there is theoretically an extra kick in this, but
I'm a fan of sweet. You know, I like desserts. I like sweet things, and so this is again sweet alcoholic drinks, especially for me, are
yeah,
it goes down quick. Goes down. In this case, it's pretty smooth. And so if you were able to get the ingredients right,
fresh knows what I'm talking about.
99 bananas.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it was.
That's what I bought.
That's what he bought, and I'm sure that we'll be paying for it later, especially if we have a second one. I don't know. We were debating on that before the show if we're gonna have more than one. So, yes. Yeah, it's the trap. Yep. Because you say,
how they get
you. Like, it's liqueur, it can't be that bad. I'll just have one. And then you have one, you barely notice the liqueur, and you're like, okay. 3 drinks later, and you're gone. So we hope to.
Sometimes you go to the store and you're thinking, well, I want to treat myself. I'm not going to get the cheapest thing. I'm going to get the second cheapest thing.
Exactly. You don't want to be too cheap.
You don't even pay attention to what you buy.
No, you don't. It's, you're not looking at ingredients, you're looking at prices. That's what it's all about. So yeah, this drink is great. High alcohol liqueur or not. Yeah, good work on this, Evan. And you've had this before.
I have, yeah. So just some life advice for the audience. If you ever get a chance, if you ever get a chance in your life, go to somewhere that has like an open bar. Go to like an all-inclusive place for a little while if you can swing it, because when I was on my honeymoon, you go to a resort and you can just get these like all day if you want. You don't have
It's just all like it comes with your stay, comes with your room. They just make these drinks.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
The place was rad. There were bars everywhere, and it was just anything. So that's my advice. If you can ever swing it, go to a place like that, because you can drink delicious drinks like that just all day.
And all inclusive all the way. Look at that. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Honeymooning in style. All right, they had too many dirty bananas. You guys, no, it's I could see it being very easy to have one too many of these, and if it was an open bar, I'd be screwed. So, Well, the drink is delicious. Love the advice. Love the life advice there. Always good when our drinks can, also bring a little wisdom.
It's like a fortune cookie.
Right. It's 100%.
Is it wisdom? Is it nonsense?
A little bit of both.
It's on a little piece of paper.
It's up to you to determine and decipher what you want it to be. But that's why I love fortune cookies. I hold on to my fortunes, and I've got like a pile of fortunes.
I actually do that too.
Do you really? I don't know why.
I have a desk drawer full of loose fortunes.
Yeah, I've got like a little just a little box that I just throw them in. Just all these tiny little fortunes. I don't.
Does anybody?
If anybody else does that, please let us know in the chat, or if it's your hobby, please enlighten us.
Nobody else does.
It's just me and Evan. We're the only ones that collect our fortunes for fortune cookies. Well, Only two. No,
Whoa.
really?
Is that true?
That's not true. I don't believe. Is that?
I mean, I don't know enough about fortune cookies to
dispute
say for
it.
sure, to dispute it.
Yeah.
But I would believe it.
I can buy it. I can certainly buy it.
How many like fortunes do you think they have?
Fresh facts. Facts
like
by
in
fresh.
circulation.
How many what?
How many like unique fortunes do you think a company like that has in circulation?
Oh man.
That's a hard thing to quantify, right?
I think it's an infinite number. I think they're just constantly making new ones.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I mean, I get
right.
repeats, sure. Like I've gotten love, just the word love, like a couple times.
Or we're getting more facts by Fresh. I'm just.
Make new ones contend. Fresh is all into the fortune cookie facts, dude. He's done his research. Fresh is in the house tonight with fortune cookie facts. Hell yes, I love it. That's what this stream is all about. You guys bringing us information just as much as, we're here bringing you gnarly old horror movies, which we're excited, always excited. Fortune Fresh is in the house.
500
we'll have to start giving Fortune Fresh his own segment where he does, he does various fortunes, fortune facts, and tells people's fortunes, and maybe helps out with some missing person cases, or
tells you the lucky lottery numbers.
He does like an unsolved mysteries type of thing. I don't know. We'll come up with something. We'll see what Fresh is open to, but Fortune Fresh certainly would be a wonderful segment. All right. Well, I think we're about ready to.
I think we've prattled on.
I think we have.
Enough.
I think we're about ready to get this train rolling. Again, this is 1943. This is like Bela Lugosi made 9 of these Poverty Row movies for Monogram. This is on the back half of those, so it's certainly they're reusing plot details. They're reusing plot devices from earlier Lugosi movies, from their movies, and I keep buffering. Yeah, I don't know. That's
every day I'm buffering.
Buffering. Let's see. We're getting a little bit of drop frames. Hopefully that's not too bad. Let us know if it becomes a problem.
I dropped all my frames.
I dropped all my frames. These goddamn gremlins. Anyway, The Ape Man. I first saw this in my teens. I got it as part of like a 50 movie DVD box set of it was just all public domain horror movies for 10, 15, $20, something like that. And it had a lot of them, all the movies. Oh, we're going to show all the movies on the stream, We've
got all the movies from the box set.
We've already seen Horror Hotel, yeah. Classic Comcast. It's Comcast.
Throwing shade at Comcast.
Get it. Eat it, Comcast. But yeah, it's one of those movies that I haven't watched as much as some of the other Lugosi movies, because I think there's things that we'll have a lot of fun with. I think it's a movie you can poke fun at. So this is the first opportunity I'll have to watch it with other people, where poking fun at it will be more of an open game, as opposed to me just sitting there by myself being like, they did this wrong, they did that. I don't really, I don't sit by myself and look for continuity errors in these movies, I don't know what kind of psycho would do that. You go and watch these old movies, you're going to find nothing but continuity errors. So, but the beauty of having an audience and having Evan in the room and having a live audience, a live chat, is that we can all make fun of the continuity errors and the ridiculous things together. So, again, Evan, it's The Ape Man, Lugosi-Poverty Row. What are you thinking? What are you expecting? What are you...
If this movie is anything like the other Poverty Row movie we watched, it's going to have 3 sets.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say
gonna get a lot of mileage out of this bush and this
as much as you can out of
street.
in just cutting costs, cutting corners, however you can. We'll see plenty of examples of that. And this movie only runs an hour and 3 minutes long, so
you can only get so much mileage out of your 3 cents, okay?
Right. I mean, you can only go back and forth so many times. And yeah, I think we're in for a treat. So without further ado, The Ape Man. And they reuse a lot of the same music in these Lugosi movies, so you may not notice it now, but the more that we watch them, it's just like, all right.
You could say it's just the theme song for the studio.
Right. That's true. That's a good point. I mean, Universal certainly reused a lot of the same music, like, over and over and over again. So, Louise Curry she was one of the victims of Lugosi and Voodoo Man. She's one of the ladies that's driving a car, and then,
I don't know that much about, Lugosi's personal life except for towards the end. So you said she's one of the victims of Lugosi, and I went...
Lugosi's character.
In Voodoo Man.
Voodoo Man.
Oh, okay.
What? What?
I guess he means the camera.
One-eyed monster.
Right? Yikes. What year is this?
43.
They went a little Stooges there.
No movie volume.
A famous gland expert.
Hold on, I got you on that movie volume. I got it.
You're Dr. Randall, no?
Yes?
You're here to meet Agatha Brewster, aren't you?
Well,
I thought so.
Ooh. Should be good now, Fresh. Should be able to hear it. If not, let me know. Toot. Ready toot toot.
You're Carter of the Globe Tribune, aren't you?
Uh-huh.
Say, there's a woman on that boat with the name of Agatha
Would you have
Brewster.
taken a ride on a boat like that across the ocean?
Ghost hunter.
Yeah, I'd like to think,
Dr. Brewster.
Well, actually,
After that one time,
I don't know. I've been known to get seasick, so I can't say with absolute certainty that boat travel. I mean, I'm going to be anxious whether I'm on a boat or a plane.
Trying to sell your bootleg gas?
yeah, at least the plane's quicker.
Screwball, I guess.
That's
The
her
one-eyed
over
monster.
there with the fur piece.
What did he say? Oh, with the fur piece. I thought he said with the herpes.
Oh.
George, it's terrible. What happened?
Miss Brewster,
Yes.
I'm from the Globe Tribune.
Well,
Miss Brewster's too upset over her brother to give an interview right now.
yes, some other time.
Oh, well, may we have a picture? Go ahead, Bonnie. A pretty smile now.
Smile.
Oh, excuse me.
Your brother's missing. Give me a
When
big
the room,
smile.
dude.
Some other day, the next week.
Where?
Miss Brewster will phone you.
Don't let her give you the brush off. It's a great story.
Hey, what is this anyway?
Say.
If you'd only have listened to me, all this wouldn't have happened.
But what about the police? Haven't they been able to trace him?
unfortunately, no.
I'm on a boat.
Yes, then.
I'm on a boat. Everybody look at me because I'm sailing on a boat.
He's hidden away in
Love it.
Springdale in
Love
the old
it.
mansion. He'd be better off in the family cemetery plot.
George.
I'm sorry, but it's true.
What?
6 months ago, we made an astounding discovery. It was so far in advance of anything that's been done to date that Jim decided to be the guinea pig for this experiment himself.
Bum,
I
bum,
tried to talk him out of it, but you know how stubborn he is when he gets an idea in his head.
Stubborn Jim.
You know how he is. Once he decides he's gonna be the ape man, there's no talking him out of it.
So great, in fact,
You know Jim.
we've been unable to counteract the result.
Bela Lugosi is a
And
character
Jim.
named Jim.
Yeah,
Alive,
it's
isn't
hard.
he?
Hard to see him as a
And the
Jim.
story of
Right.
his disappearance was a
My
fake.
name is
Yes, I
G.
put that out to cover the whole affair up so that if the worst comes to the worst, it'll save him a great deal of unpleasant notoriety.
George,
Okay, hold it.
what does he...
Hold it.
Prepare yourself
Hold it.
for a great shock,
Hold it.
Agnes.
Gotta love just the wildness, like
That
what it
car
must have
is
been like,
huge.
just barreling around in one of those cars. I love it. I love seeing it in these old movies because it must have been so much fun. No seatbelts or anything.
Back when people knew how to live.
just container of alcohol in one hand, steering wheel in the other. You know.
It's 1940. Anything goes.
The good old basement laboratory.
Yeah.
Every good mad scientist keeps his laboratory in his basement.
Every mad scientist worth his salt has a,
Right.
at least has a basement laboratory.
Come on, guy.
That's a man in a suit.
Why, yes, Evan, it is a man in a suit. Oh, Jesus. So I was telling Evan this, and we'll learn more about it tonight, but gorillas, like, was a whole subgenre of horror movies, and men in gorilla suits as the monster was a whole thing. There are so
Why?
many men in gorilla suits as monsters. It's ridiculous.
Why is gorillas a whole subgenre?
We'll get into it. We'll unpack it a little bit as we go along.
Stop shaking, Agnes. I will fetch you.
Oh, you poor boy.
Open the door.
This looks strangely like the laboratory from Voodoo Man. Men in gorilla suits. It
gorilla
sounds
suits,
exactly
yes.
like. How I'm sure it's already got to be an indie band.
Is this the same laboratory?
This kind of door setup. It's probably not. It looks very similar though. I'm sure there's reused pieces here and there. Gotta love that. Killer dance moves.
Alright, I want you to lumber across the room and then sit down in the chair.
What a mess I made of things. Look.
Oh no!
Oh my God.
Is it a gun now? Oh my God!
Which one are you gonna shoot?
Which one is the real ape man?
I can't figure it out. They both look so human. So it's funny, this is 2 years after the Wolfman, and so it's you know, this is definitely, you could say, a Poverty Row version, but it's a mad scientist movie as well. It more fits the Bela Lugosi monogram mold of movies he's already done.
How many years is this after Teen Wolf?
Oh, after Teen Wolf?
How are you coming with that coat, John? I couldn't get a thing out of her at the boat. Now I'm going through the morgue. Boy, is she a screwy dame. I don't want that junk. I want a personal interview.
There's
get me some more pictures.
one of these movies
Barney
where
Snell.
the newspaper editor is
Billy Mason.
Elmer Fudd.
Okay, Chiefy.
The guy who voices Elmer Fudd. It's not this one. I thought it was this one, but it's not.
Okay, Chiefy.
He's like a real fat guy. He looks exactly how you would think the
Does
guy
he
who voices
talk
Elmer.
like Elmer Fudd?
He does,
That's
yeah.
just his voice?
Looks more like a
Kind,
ghost.
it's
Don't
not
tire to
quite
me.
as exaggerated, but
Just what could have happened to get such a piece of tripe?
no, I think that's in another Lugosi movie, The Devil Bat, that he plays a newspaper editor.
Overdeveloped. And besides, there are 2 pictures on the same negative.
Is that all?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Take Miss Mason down to Carter. She's taking Barney's place. Yes?
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Martin, for giving me the break. I'm sure I can.
Ah, forget it. But remember, I'll be satisfied with just 1 picture on each negative.
I'll do the very best I can.
I mean, really, it's just about applying a little bit of hair around, you know, his hair that's already there. And
Billy Mason.
Ape Man.
Okay, sit down, take the load off your feet. I'll be with you in a minute.
I mean, you certainly don't have the makeup wizard that Universal had, who was just creating all the wild monsters as we know them today. This one guy at Universal created them, but Poverty Row didn't have anybody like that. They just had, luckily they had one person that could glue a little bit of crepe hair to the sides of Lugosi's face. And
Opening night. What went by when I wasn't looking?
See, you know your perfume.
I know that one. In fact, I'll never forget it. The first girl I met that used it either.
Was she nice?
Yeah, she lied to me.
So?
She told me her boyfriend was in boot camp.
what?
Uh-oh.
Still, why are you hooking up with a girl who's got a boyfriend in the first place, guy?
Mason!
These newspaper reporters, man, they're players.
Huh?
I said, I'm Billy Mason. I'm taking Barney's place, whoever he is.
Well, why didn't you say so? Come on, let's go.
Where are we going, if I may ask?
To Springdale, the old Brewster home. We'll interview a screwy old dame and get some pictures. Good pictures, I hope.
Screwy
Barney,
old
I hope
dame.
A good reporter generally gets an interview.
Not worried about the interview, it's the pictures I'm worried about.
Oh, I get it. Well, listen, Mr. Brisbane. You take care of your end of it and don't worry about mine. My pictures will be as good as your interview, and maybe a little bit better.
Cocky little wench, aren't you?
Well, I've had to hold my own against 4 brothers all my life. I guess I can handle a 4F like you.
4F, and what gives you the idea I'm in 4F?
So this is World War II time. So 4F means you didn't make it.
Oh, yeah.
No dependent, physically perfect, with a personal letter, not
Screwy Dane.
You screwy Danish people are all like, what? Oh, I'm sorry, I must have had a stroke. I meant to call you a dame.
Jefferson B. Carter.
Well, I'll take back the part of it about 4F, but the rest of it still stands.
Makes me wish I was in the Navy right now.
That makes 2 of us. All right, sailor, shove off.
Yeah, it is. It's supposed to be screwball, like reporters who are gonna probably fall in love banter. You know, like very biting, very cutting, very back and forth. But here, you know, it's a little.
Somebody behind him is just, get out of the space!
Let's have all of our conversation that we would have on the drive before the drive, and then get in the car and drive in silence. Yeah, that sounds good. That's a plan.
This was me making the drink before the stream.
Evan's always like a mad scientist over here. That's a good point. Yes.
Yeah, good point.
Ba-da-ba. Yeah.
You have no idea what I've gone through in the last 3 months. Sometimes I'm perfectly normal, mentally. I sit for hours and hours, looking in the mirror, hoping and praying for the slightest sign of my physical change. But it doesn't come. And I feel myself going back to the animal instinct. I try to fight it.
So that's what all this is, you know.
Fight it with all my willpower.
Now that I've got the, you know,
Feel
gorilla genes in me, I'm fighting the animal instinct.
So did they already
lock myself in there.
have they
with him.
said the part about the spinal fluid?
I don't know if they have yet, but basically he's injected himself with the spinal fluid of a
Oh,
gorilla.
I can't
Maybe they did and we
stand
missed
longer.
it, but
I can't
Did
stand
they say what?
Randall must have me.
I don't think they
Must
have.
do what I am asking him.
What did you ask him to do, James, that he refused?
I must have human spinal fluid injected into me. It's my only chance.
He needs human spinal fluid in him to turn him back into a human. But why he turned himself into a gorilla? Yeah, drugs are crazy, man.
But he won't do it.
Turn you into an
Drugs
ape
are
man.
crazy.
Won't do it.
Please,
So wait, so
James,
he needs
please.
human spinal
I'll
fluid?
talk to George. I know
To
he can
try to
stand
turn
it.
him back into a human.
I mean, I feel like if you can get a hold
No,
of
he won't.
gorilla spinal fluid, surely you can get a hold of
He begged.
human spinal fluid. Any mad scientist worth his salt can get a
Should
hold
be
of
able to
some,
get some spinal
They can
fluid.
source some human
James,
spinal
tell
fluid.
Although you can't go out looking like Lugosi looks right now. You can't go out in public all hairy like that. We live in a day nowadays where you can have hair down to here and go out in public, and you may still get some looks, but you know,
Yeah,
imagine going out in that day and you're just covered.
I mean, yeah, honestly, he doesn't look super out of place. Like he just looks like a dude with a really big beard.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I must say the house matches the old girl with tea.
What do you mean?
She's a ghost hunter.
Did you say ghost?
Yeah.
Go,
Ever seen her?
ghost
Don't be
hunters.
silly.
She has. No kidding. She's written books about him. She's been all over the world, poking around in cemeteries and haunted houses. She just got back from a cook's tour of haunted castles in Europe. Come on, let's go.
Just having another conversation in the car.
Yep.
Oh, get my camera.
Well, you know,
That's your
if
job.
you have money, then you can afford a rear projection setup
Right,
where
yeah,
you can
where they
film the
move
conversation in the car.
around a little bit.
But when you don't have money, you just film the conversations outside the car before and after the.
That's what it
you know,
is.
they get to the destination.
That I think that is what it is.
Well, here's a chance for you to photograph a ghost.
Very funny. Very funny.
He's always got these little, like, you know, Ring doorbell cameras and these little, you know,
And the suspicions, those screams around.
like cell phone. He's always got these little gadgets on the cutting edge. Spine Mart. Should come in, get your spinal fluid.
I could go for a new spine.
From the boat? Jeff Carter?
Oh, yeah.
Look, I don't want the whole spine. I just want the fluid.
Get some more pictures. The others were a lot. They weren't
I just
good.
need to get my spinal fluid changed.
Do you guys do spinal fluid changes here? Or?
That'll be okay.
Oh, sure, it's okay. She makes pictures.
I'm worried about my engine's performance.
I'll be going, Miss Brewster. Just keep on with the prescription I gave you.
I will, Doctor. Won't you come into the library?
Nice save. All right, and that takes us to our first break. Did that feel fast? Did that feel a little quick?
Yeah, pretty fast.
Again, this is a quicker
How deep
movie.
into the movie are we?
20 minutes. So
Okay.
seems about right. Already some slow parts though.
Yeah. Well,
All this talking before you get into the
how
car
many
and
sets are we
talking
at
when you
now?
get
We
after the
have
car. Yeah, you
the
got
laboratory.
right the laboratory, the home, and I mean, it's skip the ads. Skip the ads. Yeah, so, we've already got to see Lugosi in full-on Ape Man get up, and it's funny, in the book that I have that talks about the making of this movie, they point out the fact that, Lugosi doesn't look very happy here, and you can only, for a number of reasons, imagine why, like, at this point in his career, 1943, he had just gotten done playing Frankenstein's monster in Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, and he got to talk in it as the monster, but they would go on to cut all of his dialogue. But they were going to cut all of his dialogue. They were getting ready to make a new Dracula movie at Universal, Son of Dracula. He was hoping that he was going to be asked to be in it. He wasn't. He was at Universal, he was only getting bit parts. He was only getting, after Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, he was playing butlers. He was playing...
It's hard to be a struggling famous actor.
It really is, and poor Lugosi, if anybody struggled, Lugosi struggled. He had the amazing role as Dracula, and then pretty much after that, was constantly working to make money for various different reasons. He was married a couple times. He ended up developing a drug habit. I think
how much money did Dracula make?
Well, Dracula
It was
made
a big movie, wasn't it?
a lot of money, but Lugosi only got paid a couple $1,000s.
Okay.
And that was the way it was for most of the movies that Lugosi was in. During his lifetime, that he had no rights to his image, and his family afterwards fought for the rights to his image and lost like a huge court case in California. But then all these other laws got put in place after that lawsuit, and now his family runs his, they license his image and do all this stuff, but at the time, there wasn't any such thing. So Lugosi Lugosi really got ripped off by the studios and by everybody because, again, Universal wasn't really using him. The big studios weren't really using him. And so luckily these Poverty Row studios are like, okay, we need a mad scientist Ape Man. What kind of name actor can we get? Oh, well, we can get Bela Lugosi. Who else?
He can't say no.
He can't say no, and who else is going to do it? And that's the thing, is that these are the kind of roles he needs to be playing. Of course, you want it to be better studio than these Poverty Row studios.
Yeah.
That's why when Universal, again, the last big movie that he got to do was Abbott and Costello Meets Frankenstein. He got to play Dracula. That was only the second time he ever played Dracula. Second ever and the final time that he played Dracula, and that was the final big movie he ever did, and he wasn't particularly happy with that film because, I think he had fun playing the comedy to a certain extent, but on the other hand, I think him and Lon Chaney recognized that their characters were being cheapened a little bit, kind of the butt of the joke, and so, Lugosi just never got the chances to play these roles except in really cheap movies by really not great filmmakers. And as Evan knows, and some of you guys know out there, Ed Wood was kind of
We'll get to him, won't we?
Well, yes, we'll get to see all of the movies Lugosi did with Ed Wood. They're all in the public domain. They are a lot of fun. Again, at the time, you can say a lot about, kind of how sad it was that's where Lugosi's career got to. But in hindsight, you can find things to appreciate about those movies. I certainly do. And so we'll get to those. Those movies will be a lot of fun. But we're here now in the mid-career of Lugosi, kind of getting toward the backslide. And, this, honestly, he probably wasn't happy putting on all this gorilla makeup and doing this. But these were the last times that he was getting starring roles, was in these Poverty Row. I mean, he got some other chances here and there later on, but it was not in very good things. And so we'll get to see a trailer later on for one of those unfortunate movies that is also a gorilla movie, and we'll talk more about how that's a whole horror subgenre. And actually, with these trailers that we have coming up, these are two movies that would fit into that killer ape, killer gorilla. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Starring role. I mean, seriously, that was the pinnacle of his mid-career. I mean, he had some good things at Universal, but they weren't starring roles. And so what we're going to see is a trailer for a movie that Lugosi's in called Murders of the Rue Morgue. That was done at Universal in 1932. Lugosi plays a mad scientist who it's dealing with ape spinal fluid and with a killer ape. It's in the killer ape, and he's like a mad scientist with a killer ape. So that's really fun. And then the other movie is from a 1940 film called The Ape with Boris Karloff as a mad scientist who is using ape spinal fluid, and there's a killer ape going around, and a lot. And that was actually made by the same studio that did tonight's movie. So there's some similar elements from both. Although the big difference is that whereas in The Ape, Karloff is a kindly doctor, Lugosi's not a kindly doctor. It literally was an ape craze. And we'll get more into that, but here you'll get to see a little Lugosi early ape action, and then you'll get the man who was considered Lugosi's rival, Karloff, and one of the few times that he did a Poverty Row movie was The Ape, and Karloff certainly didn't spend too much time in Poverty Row if he didn't have to. And when he did it, they weren't horror movies. It was detective films and other things that we could show on here, but I haven't really seen them. Some of them are a little. He's in faux Asian makeup playing an Asian detective, so I don't know if we can watch. I don't know if we should watch those. This is very yikes.
It would be hard to watch through the yikes filter.
Right. Yeah. Oh, okay. See, fresh. That's very cool. Right. There's something about ape imagery, and I think a lot, certainly there's a lot of turn of the century humor and vaudeville and early kind of silent humor where, circuses and escape gorillas, and that's a certain subplot that got used a lot. And so for some reason, ape imagery became a thing. And of course, with King Kong through the roof, that's where ape imagery really, with horror, kind of became a thing. And we'll talk more about that later. So enjoy these trailers, and when we come back, we'll get into the exciting middle of The Ape Man.
Dr. Miracle in the Rue Morgue has guilty of 4 murders so far this week, and by now perhaps a 5th.
We got to catch him prowling after dark.
Think he's still hanging around the village?
He got Mason, didn't he? And we found new tracks up around Dr. Adrian's house.
Maybe we men of science think different from other people, but if they ever find out in the village what you've been doing...
You mean about the animals?
Yes, some of the dogs have been missed.
Well, that phase of the experiment is all over.
That ape seems to take a fancy to your place. Now, don't take offense, Doctor. I'm just trying to clear up my mind. Them dogs of mine have been sniffing ape for days. It's made them foolish, I guess. Else why'd they snarl at you?
Hey, Doc. What are you going to do?
I'm going to write you into medical history.
All right, and we are back. And yes, Fresh, you're right. If the victims actually fought back in these movies, they wouldn't last nearly as long. Because a lot of it is just standing in one place and screaming and
Hey, but when you're in the moment, who can say what you're gonna?
Yeah, you never really know. You're put in that situation.
Oh, we're getting a Borderlands.
See, I wouldn't
reference.
understand the reference. I'm glad Evan does.
Yeah. I guess he did look like Sir Hammerlock.
Certainly, Boris.
Checked.
Yeah, Boris Karloff. Again, didn't do many of these movies like Lugosi did, and I don't think he enjoyed doing that one very much. But we'll be able to see that one. That one will be on the show. And Lugosi did other ape movies even before this. He did a movie called The Gorilla, from 1939. That was by 20th Century Fox, which is also in the public domain. And thankfully, we'll get to watch that. Unfortunately, that's one where Lugosi gets wasted as an actor. Not literally. He's not drunk on the set. Some of the other actors on this show, that's up to debate. But well, and now Lugosi had a drug problem, and it's up to debate whether he used on set or not.
Yeah, Orson Welles.
Orson Welles, now that's a little different. If the person paying you to be there is supplying the product for you, and that product is wine, well, that's their fault.
Yeah,
they should know better than putting real wine out in front of Orson Welles and not expecting him to drink it. I mean, seriously, they should have known what they were doing. But no, that was one where Lugosi was a butler, and unfortunately, there were a fair amount of movies where Lugosi plays a butler, and he every once in a while he's supposed to always be like a red herring. Like you're supposed to be suspicious of him, but he always ends up
because he is who he is.
He is
see him,
right, and it's just those are always annoying because you're like, it's Lugosi, have him be the mad scientist, have him be a bad guy. Like let's not waste him as a fucking butler. But it happened all the time. It happened in The Gorilla. But I love The Gorilla. The Gorilla is one of my favorites, inexplicably. It's not necessarily a good film. It's a horror comedy. There's like a brother comedy team, like the hilarious Waiter Brothers. Like there's these like New York, like the Ritz brothers, and they're very much kind of like a cross between the Three Stooges and the Marx Brothers in not a good way. But you know, Lugosi has to play second fiddle to them, and he does okay. No, I mean, that's the thing. Lugosi, they're paying him, yeah, and for nothing. I mean, you know, they give him probably for those bit parts $200, and you know, if the shooting schedule is only anywhere between 5 to 10 days, I mean, you know, and what is it? I don't think it was on this film, but at certain points of Lugosi's career, he would shoot one film during the day and go and shoot another film during the night. Jeez. Working. And I don't know if he was doing that here, but I mean, I know certainly he had just wrapped up Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, and then went into this. And so,
well, when you're running on opium.
When you're running on opium, when you're opium morphine, I'm not quite sure what he was. He was on some kind of pain killers and
night films. Ooh.
Yeah,
Fun fact: Bela Lugosi has a huge.
Who knew? Did you guys know? No, that would not be no, that Lugosi After Dark. Lugosi, yeah. Well, you see, that's the thing. Luckily, Lugosi didn't live to be in his 90s, because when Ed Wood made the transition to softcore porn horror movies,
right,
you would have hated to see Bela dragged into that. He was able to convince Criswell from Plan 9 from Outer Space to be in one of those. So,
I mean, not that there's anything wrong.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but certainly. Again, like you said, like a big star like Bela Lugosi, that's the thing. Like, he should have been a big star, but he wasn't considered a big star at that time. I mean, he was a name. He was a draw. If you saw his name in the movie and it was a horror movie and he was the top billed guy, then you're like, okay, I want to go see that. Whether his name was being top billed and he was the top billed person or not is Universal did that a lot. Like, I watched one the other day that he's in with Karloff, and they're co-billed. Boris Karloff, Bela Lugosi. Bela Lugosi plays a gangster, and he's like the third or fourth lead character.
He has 2 lines.
Yeah, Bela Lugosi would never blink. That's 100%. I would 100% agree with that. That Bela Lugosi never blinked during lovemaking. I hope that's not too scandalous an assumption, but certainly we can speculate, and we've seen the power of that
under
stare,
the spell,
right?
Of Bela Lugosi.
And hey, the very last film of this first season of the Scream stream will be looking at one of his most iconic movies with the most iconic close-ups of his stare and his unblinking gaze. It's, I'm glad that we're gonna be ending with a bang. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So
we're ending with a bang. We're watching one of Bela Lugosi's porn movies.
Right. He's gonna be I fucking you the whole time. It's gonna be great. No, it's gonna be a lot of fun. So, but until then, we're gonna get back into the exciting middle of the Ape Man. And so far, Lugosi's been skulking around in this makeup and looking, just genuinely unhappy and not pleased. So, we'll see if he livens up a little bit. So yeah, we'll get back into it.
If you don't mind, Miss Brewster, I'd like to know a little more about your work, your books, etc. I think our readers would be interested.
Oh, certainly. Won't you sit down?
Thanks.
I hope you'll pardon the appearance of this room, but I don't dare change a thing. The entities.
This place is just a real mess. Excuse me.
Cling only to the old familiar surroundings.
You mean this house is really haunted?
Things and stuff, etc.
All houses are haunted. All persons are haunted. Throngs of spirits follow us everywhere. We are never alone. This room is crowded right now.
I don't see anything.
Astute observation.
They can destroy you if sufficiently enraged. Most spirits are honest, gentle, and kind, and only want to bring happiness.
I don't know about that.
But a few are evil, and having been wicked in life, are wicked in death, and only haunt the scenes of desperate crimes, reveling in murder.
Murder.
That must have been the one we heard when we drove up, huh?
Yes. You heard it? Was it here? Right here? Oh, no, that's what I bought from Scotland on a phonograph record.
No kidding. I thought I heard everything.
Would you like to hear it?
Well, what can we lose?
Jeez, look at the size of that fucking record player. I mean, I guess it's got room. It's like a cabinet to put your records into.
I got the compact model.
This spirit
The bass on that thing must just be incredible. Should just play one of those spooky sounds CDs. Right, yes, this is exactly it.
Does it bother you, child?
Oh, no. I just won't sleep all night, that's all.
Suppose we get the picture before Miss Mason passes it out, huh?
Certainly.
Now listen, Miss Brewster, you stand right over here by the phonograph,
Certainly.
and you hold this record, only like that.
Yeah, I
Come on,
mean,
get yourself together. Thanks very much, Miss Brewster.
Oh, just a moment. One more. Seated, please.
Oh yes, do you mind?
I mean, I guess that, hey, if they're doing it right, then that laboratory is soundproof down in that basement. You can't hear it. Well, no, we already know it's not because they heard shit from the lab when they were pulling up.
That was very kind of
So
you,
we
Brewster.
know it's not. See, you
Come on,
could
honey, let's go.
you could fill a book with the things that don't make sense in these old movies. So I'm not. We don't do that here most of the time.
Send you a copy of the
I
article. I
won't.
might want to check with you later.
hold
May
myself
I
back.
come out again?
I guess so. Please phone me first.
Oh, certainly, certainly.
Thank you very much.
Well, goodbye.
Like, why are you skulking around then?
There's too much shit on me.
I can't breathe.
The chin kills.
I'm telling you, I can't.
He's going to let me go through life like this. I told you he wouldn't help me. I told you.
Is there any advantage to being an ape man?
Hey,
I mean, maybe you could like use your feet to do
Fine.
more stuff.
Go
You know?
right ahead.
Oh, we haven't seen the demonstration of that on Lugosi's part, but I'd like to think that you could climb a little better. Certainly, if they had more of a budget for this movie, the climax would involve him climbing up something, i.e., King Kong.
The galloping goat.
It is. I think that's how Lugosi feels right now.
Probably,
I
yeah.
think why he's like
Just holding his
skulking around
breath.
that thing, acting all angsty, is he's just like
Come to think of it.
That's so fucking hot.
he's like. I think he is saying like, I don't want to be around anymore. Like, are you saying you don't want to live
Maybe
anymore?
it's rheumatism.
Because you're wearing that ape costume?
Well, then maybe you should just take it off.
All these years of cooperation, leaving me to die like this. But you won't get away with it.
Oh, please, James, something will.
Oh, leave me alone. Go on, get upstairs. I want to think.
Oh,
Get out, Dora.
oh, all right, James.
They blew their whole budget on that driving scene.
The big bucks.
Just kidding. They blew their whole budget on this very real gorilla they got.
Right. Well, a lot of these guys they were people for hire with their own suits. So I'm serious. Like, this guy, I think I read his name is Emil Van Horn. And like him, there's a guy named Charles Gamora. And like, there were these people that like had these suits and would play. And this was going on all the way up to the 60s. There was a television show called Ghostbusters. It wasn't the Ghostbusters as we know them, but one of the characters, yeah, I think that's what it was called in syndication. One of the characters is a man and it's a gorilla, but it's really just a man in one of these gorilla costumes. Anxiety. Yeah, could you imagine being the actor in one of these things?
I think they're talking about, I think you should leave.
Oh, that show? Well, that too. It grows, it grows on you. Takes a special kind of lunatic to love. I think you should leave. It grows on you like a wound, like a tumor.
How did you get here?
Perhaps our experiment has taught me you tricks. Are you alone?
No, my butler is somewhere around. Why did you take such a chance?
I had to, George. I had to. I'm desperate. You must help me. Get me the fluid.
Do you realize what you're asking me to do? Murder.
Oh, call it what you like.
Murder.
Call it what you like. I must have the fluid. It's my life against somebody else.
Do you have to kill somebody to get at their spine fluid?
Yeah, I guess if you don't have it, then you. If you take out the spinal fluid, the engine don't run.
Yes?
Someone from police headquarters.
All right.
Right,
I should
exactly.
wait in the library. I'll be
You
right
can just
back.
ask your neighbor, can I borrow a cup of spinal fluid?
You suppose
Just need a
anybody saw you
little,
coming
just let me
here?
make a
No,
tiny
I'm sure
little
not.
incision
Stay
here.
right here. Don't
Yeah, I mean, you just wear the fedora, you just turn your lapel up.
Oh, the captain sent me over to get some more dope on that Brewster disappearance case.
But I've already told him all I know.
Well, there's a few things I'd like to check on.
Very well.
I got some questions.
When's the last
I
time
got
you
some
saw
questions
this
for
thing,
you.
right?
Oh, for a second I thought he was eating something.
Comes a bug out of his hair. Oh, they're here too.
Well, I guess we learned another thing. It gives you the power to communicate with gorillas.
There you go. Okay, that's something.
Weren't you? Huh? You were very closely associated with Dr. Brewster, weren't you?
Oh, yes, yes.
Oh.
Oh, come on, guy.
Come on. This man is legally blind.
Yes. Dr. Brewster.
Oh, shit. Got him. See, Lugosi doesn't even have to do the dirty work. He just, you know.
That's why he brought the muscle.
See?
All while this fucking flatfoot cop's out here is just fucking writing down notes, questioning the other guy.
Perhaps I could drop in tomorrow sometime and...
Oh, there's just a few more things. When do I get this down?
I write real slow. Give me a minute. I remember what you said, but it takes me a while to write it.
Well, I guess that's all.
Thanks a lot, Doc.
Not at all. Oh, if you think of anything else in connection with Dr. Brewster, let us know.
One more
We
thing.
can use a lot of help on this one.
All right, I will. Okay. Goodbye.
He really did. Got that spinal fluid.
That's why you gotta have a lock on your spinal fluid cabinet.
Please tell me you're calling 911. You just got APE, bro.
Just doing some monkeying
You have any
around.
callers tonight? No one but one of you.
Monkeying around.
Who was that? I don't know. I
Getting
didn't get
all
anything. Came about
bananas
Brewster
up in
case. Why
here.
did you discover this? Right after he left. You mean this happened while the cop was in the house? Evidently. Townsend admitted it. Huh? Where's Townsend now? Right there. Oh. How about it, John?
Strangulation. And by someone with terrific strength. By the looks of the mark on his throat.
His coat is covered in ape hair.
I wonder who it could be.
Whoever did it sure needed a haircut.
Ha ha! Classic,
Got him.
classic cop jokes. You gotta love it. You know at every crime scene, those detectives are always cracking jokes.
It does look like him, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Here, those pictures.
Okay.
Just
What's
living
happening
for
now?
it. Gotta have that
Butler by
snappy
strangulation.
one-liner.
Cops are trying to pin it on an ape.
You know, every cop is thinking of it before he even gets to the crime scene. He's like already trying to come up with it.
Anyway.
Now, listen, old man River.
Uh-oh. Trying to pull a Barney, huh?
What do you mean?
2 pictures for the price of 1 again. Look at that.
Where?
Right there.
Well, I never saw that before.
What is it?
It's
How
a
did it get there?
ghost.
Looks like a gorilla to me.
A little thing that they call in the photography business double
What
exposure.
heading does that come under? Trick photography? Is it a gag?
No, I didn't do it. It's in the picture. It was there when I shot it.
Say, wait a minute. Maybe this is the Galloping Ghost from Glenraven or whatever his name was in the flesh. Remember those sounds?
Yeah. Is that the way a gorilla sounds?
I'm not much of a Tarzan, but could be. So, the butler of the guy we saw there was
He was
murdered
in
by
a
an
lot
ape.
of like
I wonder.
horror movies
Trying to
and
sell the boss
B
until it's good.
movies
Oh,
and
honey, you stay right there.
mysteries and things.
Hey, maybe you're my lucky number.
He was in Freaks. He's the clown as in the carnival in the movie Freaks.
Randall, come yet?
No, I expecting him.
Yeah. I got it again. I got it.
What?
The fluid. The final fluid.
Does he know you've got it?
Yeah. That's why I expected him.
He said he wouldn't.
He didn't get it. I did. He is going to make the injection.
Just have her do it, bro.
He refuses.
Don't bring your enemy in to do this injection. Well, I mean, I guess they're
mean
partners,
just what I
but
said.
he just killed his butler, so I don't think this is gonna go over well. Okay, why did he go out earlier? I forgot that he had this television device. He saw that the reporters were coming. Why did he... There's no use in asking those kinds of questions.
Tell him he's wanted in surgery.
That was a good, that was a good,
Pretty good line.
delivery from Lugosi there. I mean, that's the thing, man. When he's like eating it up, chewing up the scenery, getting into it, it's fun.
Oh, no.
It's
I
what
might
you
have
pay
do
to
some
see.
second story work and she might get a
Luckily,
run
we
in her
don't have to
stocking.
pay. Public domain, baby.
You know, if that gorilla was so, like, well-trained and seemingly docile, why is it still in that cell?
Jim.
I guess it's
You
not.
realize
I
what you've
guess it's
done?
unpredictable.
What about it? I've got it, and I have a chance to be cured. That's more important.
Even if it cost a man his life?
Yes, it's my life I'm thinking about. But we're wasting time. Look, everything is ready for you to make the injection. Come, don't let's argue.
Don't let's argue.
Jim, I lied to the police to save you yesterday and made myself almost as guilty as you are. But I won't incriminate myself any further. I'm through.
Oh, no, you're not.
Threats will do you no good. If necessary, I'll go to the police and tell them the whole story.
You'll do as James says. Go on, hurry.
Ooh, got
Hey,
him.
doctor.
What are you gonna do about that, Doc? Can you just inject more spinal fluid into your spine? Like,
Well, he's already had gorilla spinal fluid, and now he's gonna put more human. Yeah, what happens? Can you have too much spinal fluid?
how do you feel? I feel great. My spine feels full.
My spine is strong.
My spine has never felt this full of fluid.
Oh my god. Clunk, you can hear the hollow set floor. No, very minimal sound editing, as you could tell. Killer new dance moves Lugosi's coming up with. You put some, like, you know, boom, 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 you know, some EDM or something under that. Yeah, who is this guy's a great question, Sierra. That's
Look. Look.
hold on to that thought. It's always just perfect timing.
That was like a stage, was it?
What?
Do you think that was outside or on a...
It's definitely a sound stage for sure. I think it's definitely a set.
Just that old pest of a newspaper man again, Miss Brewster.
I thought you said you'd phone before coming back.
I did. But your phone seemed to be always busy. Or out of order, maybe. Have you tried your phone lately? It could be, you know. Oh, those things get out of order. Honey.
Yikes.
So, yeah, look at him.
Yikes.
He's just getting right in
walking
there.
right
man.
in.
He's like, all right, I want this.
Mm.
I want the story. You know, these reporters, so nosy. It's nosy ass. What can you do? So that was we're 2/3 of the way through the Ape Man. Lugosi's killed a guy. So
isn't
well, I guess he didn't kill a guy. I guess it was the gorilla that killed a guy. But
you can always pin it on the gorilla.
Yeah, see, that's where
They
Lugosi.
put the gorilla down. It's sad, but he still gets away with it.
Right, exactly. You get an animal to do it for you. You just blame it on the animal. You get off scot-free. Right. Bela Lugosi killed a guy. Yeah, so no, I think he I don't know if he had to fight in war when he was in his native country or not. I'm not sure. I think he did. Or World War One. I don't know. He might have fought.
What side was Hungary on?
I'm not sure. That is
Job was here.
If Job was here, Job, I think is a little more well versed in Lugosi's military background than I am. But I think he did. I think he might have fought World War One. I mean, when Lugosi made Dracula, he was 50, or like 49 or 50 or 51. You know how old he is here? He's 60.
So not very long. Wait, what did you say? You say 49?
Yeah, 49, 50 when he made Dracula.
So a little low.
So he's around 60 here, and
I never knew he was that old when he got his biggest
access, right?
Part.
Yeah, no, a lot of people, especially if you go back and look at the movie Dracula, he doesn't look that old, but yeah, I mean, you find out that he was, I mean, same with like Karloff as Frankenstein. Karloff was like over 40 and had already done over 50 movies. Lugosi had already become a huge like sensation in Hungary, came over, became a success on the stage in America because of Dracula, but he had done movies in America up to that time and then had to lobby hard to play Dracula in the movie. And then again, like we discussed earlier, the whole, career after that was just kind of getting typecast. And unfortunately, a lot of the times having, especially in the later career, having to take lesser roles. And, we talked about he did multiple ape themed movies in his career, and he would do another one after this. He would do more after this. Actually, there's a sequel to The Ape Man called Return of the Ape Man. We don't have a trailer for it. I couldn't find one, but
is that public domain?
I'm not sure. That's a thing I just found out, is not all of these Lugosi monogram movies are public domain. They each have their own specific rules. If you go and look for our episode that we did of Voodoo Man on our YouTube page, you won't find it, because I'm pretty sure that movie is actually still copyrighted. So a little bit of a goof on our part. But be that as it may, I'll probably still upload like a best of like clip compilation of that episode. But they each have their own different things, so I'm not sure if Return of the Ape Man is public domain, but I know for a fact this is. I did my research on this to make sure. It lapsed. It wasn't renewed in time. After 28 years, that's the first period. Then you have to renew. It was not renewed in time, so it's public domain. So that's great. Return of the Ape Man, I'm not sure. But Lugosi's like a different character in that. He's like not an ape man. It's kind of weird. But he would do another one. And so we'll see a trailer for that. And again, like we said, ape movies were a whole thing. And so you had Murders of the Rue Morgue. We saw the trailer for that. We saw the trailer for Island of Lost Souls, which was all like animal-human hybrid stuff, which was 1932. King Kong was big. There are all these other like movies from cheap studios, guerrilla movies, killer guerrilla movies that we'll be able to watch on this show. They're not good. I mean, and I don't say that lightly, because I don't like to say whether the thing is good or bad. Those movies are, really not great, but we can still
There's
watch
a whole
it.
craze of not very good
There's
movies.
and a gorilla it's either a gorilla or a guy in a gorilla suit. It's either one or the other. And that continued after this. And at this point, again, what we're seeing here is you're bringing in a mad scientist theme into the whole thing. So Universal at the same time had started a new series that's kind of similar to this, but instead of 8 men, it's 8 women. And the first movie of that series was called Captive Wild Woman. And yeah, the titles for these, there's 3 of them, and the titles for them are all strange. But Captive Wild Woman was the first one, and it was being filmed at the same time as this movie. At the same time the 8 Man was being filmed, so was Captive Wild Woman. Captive Wild Woman, we're going to see the trailer for that. It has John Carradine in it. John Carradine, who was in Voodoo Man. He was also in Return of the 8 Man, or would go on to be in Return of the 8 Man with Lugosi. So, again, doing all this degrees of Kevin Bacon thing, it's crazy to see how it all, like... Right. Well, you know, I mean, Bela Lugosi, I hope he wasn't a traitor, but who knows? No, he wasn't. He was, no, he wasn't. I don't know too much about Hungary and, like, his past with that country, but... You know, he got to America and he tried to live up to the spirit. And so the second trailer that we're going to see is for another later Lugosi gorilla movie, the title of which is called Bela Lugosi Meets a Brooklyn Gorilla. It's not a good movie. I think it's public domain, so I didn't have it on the lineup. I don't want to watch it, but I mean, we'll be hurting for material at some point before we start just recycling episodes. We got to scrape the bottom of the barrel. And Bela Lugosi Meets a Brooklyn Gorilla is bottom of the barrel. Like, it's like a knockoff version. It's like it got a knockoff version of Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis, and it's just
Pack.
Oh, it's awful, man. It's so bad. But you know, and so this was like Lugosi's later career, right before the Ed Wood stuff, and you know, well after his last big studio film, which was Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. He did a movie in England, and then did this movie, and you'll see in the trailer it's not a very good movie. But again, it's weird. This gorilla movie subgenre, horror like subgenre, went on, you know, all the way up through the 60s, and then it kind of became, okay, it's a, you know, outside of King
Kong.
Kong.
With this now. We're done with gorillas.
Right, outside of a giant ape.
We're not afraid of that anymore.
We're not afraid of it, you know.
We've conquered our fear of
We've conquered our rational
as a culture.
fear. Yeah, I mean, it is kind of wild to see, especially in the 30s, there were a lot. And then in the 40s, there's like, you know, now we're seeing the mad scientist stuff.
Imagine, like, a gorilla being the scariest thing you can possibly imagine.
Well,
that's what I'm most
certainly,
afraid of, just a gorilla.
When,
terrifying.
You know, before the days of blood and gore and guts, and when your mind hasn't gotten to those dark, horrible places yet, you have what you see. And if you go to the circus or the fair or the carnival and you see a gorilla, you're like, ah, and you know, okay, that's right.
Nobody knows who they are.
Nobody knows. It's just right. A O A. I mean, it's ridiculous. So we're gonna see the trailers for these two. You know, Captive Wild Woman I actually haven't seen, and I probably should because it's a Universal movie, but it's not been considered in the pantheon of the classic monsters. The way it's not considered, it hasn't been lumped in with Dracula and Frankenstein and all them, but it's an ape woman thing, so I don't know, maybe I should see it, but it's not in the public domain, so we can't watch it here, but we'll see the trailer for it. We'll see Bela Lugosi meets Brooklyn Gorilla, and then when we come back, the exciting conclusion of The Ape Man.
Creature of evil, running amok, blazing a trail of fear-crazed horror. From the jungle's most guarded secret comes this amazing story of a captive wild woman, torn between the mad cravings of animal blood and the longing for human love. A woman whose jungle instincts give her sinister power over man and beast.
And suppose your experiment does succeed. What will you have? A human form with animal instincts.
You know what the police do if they catch you? No, of course you don't. They put you on trial. Then they'll put you in the electric chair and kill you.
Okay, banga banga.
Since when are you talking native language?
I just started today.
Well, what do you say?
What do you say? I don't even know what I said.
Of course I do. Duke Mitchell and Sammy Petrillo turn an island paradise into the zaniest madhouse in the 7 seas. Charlita puts a gleam in Duke Mitchell's eyes. Your smile only added life to your masquerade. Muriel Landers puts the whammy on Sammy.
Run for your life! Go on, get out of here. Run for your life.
Ramona, the romantic chimp, takes off on a romantic chase of her own.
Strange, but interesting.
Really think so? What a charming compliment.
Bela Lugosi finds the perfect subject to turn a gorilla into a goop, and versa versa.
Look, what are you trying to tell me? I don't understand a word. What am I, dumb or something? Don't answer that. Now, look, Duke Mitchell, I'm running this game, you understand? And don't talk back. Yeah, now put it on, because we gotta get out that door.
You're right. I totally forgot. So we weren't saying much. Thank you,
guys
Fresh.
missed just the funniest joke.
It was the world's funniest joke.
But the moment has passed, so we gotta keep moving.
Can't repeat it. We have to keep moving on. Anyway, yeah, Bela Lugosi meets the Brooklyn Gorilla. I haven't seen it. Again, so horrible that I really have refused to watch it. So.
It's got a young Jim Carrey.
Yeah, young Jim Carrey and I'm trying to remember what the other guy looks like. I just again, I haven't seen the movie. It there was all this controversy because again, like I said, like you said, the guy who looks like Jim Carrey at the time.
Who is Jim Carrey?
Right.
Back when he used to go by that other name.
It was Jim Carrey when he used to go by Sammy Petrillo. But so Sammy Petrillo was basically ripping off Jerry Lewis, and so Jerry Lewis actually sued Sammy Petrillo like when this movie came out, and yeah, it was a whole thing. And the other guy,
Can you do that? Can you? This guy's stealing my bit.
Yeah, that was what Jerry Lewis said. He's like, this guy's stealing my act. Like, and it was like, and I think they found in favor of Jerry Lewis.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, if we actually watch that movie, we'll look more into that whole thing, and we'll talk about. I'm pretty sure Duke Mitchell is he would go on to do these like exploitation films in the 70s that are like ridiculous that I haven't seen but have heard about. So if we watch Bela Lugosi meets the Brooklyn Gorilla, we'll get to go into all of that. Certainly looks like a very teeth-grating experience, but we'll suffer through.
Bring your mouth guard.
Bring your mouth guard. We'll suffer through it together. We'll destroy it and have a good time with it. So, as you can see, Bela Lugosi's career, especially at that point, was pretty much descending into parody. It's kind of the good thing you can say about Ed Wood. At least it wasn't parody, even if it was
It was sincere.
Yeah, I was gonna say, even if it was outdated, at least it was sincere. At least it was genuine. It was, it wasn't just making fun of Bela Lugosi as a mad scientist. It was letting Bela Lugosi play a mad scientist just like he would have in these Monogram movies. So you have to appreciate the sincerity compared to something like that, which is like, oh, Bela Lugosi's old movies are being seen by the kids these days and it's really popular, so we're going to use his name in the title and a gorilla. Apparently the legend is that the distributor's son came up with the title for the movie. I don't know if that's true or not, but
I do like blank meets blank though.
Right. I mean, at that point, with Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein, after that it was, after that Abbott and Costello met everybody. Abbott and Costello met, even that they used Boris Karloff's name in an Abbott and Costello. There's a movie called, hold on, it's called Abbott and Costello Meet the Killer Boris Karloff. That's the title. Boris Karloff is not, he's playing like some weird character with a weird name, not named Boris Karloff, but they used his name.
So they meet the actor playing another character in the fiction.
He's a character, but they're using his name in the title for, extra advertising purposes, which is what they do with Bela Lugosi in that movie. It's saying, this person is in this movie, even though, they're playing a character, they're not themselves, but we're telling you they're in this.
That is so weird.
It's a weird thing. So it's funny that I forgot that they did that with Boris Karloff as well, with Abbott and Costello. So weird bit of symmetry there. Anyway, but you see, Boris Karloff gets Abbott and Costello. Bela Lugosi gets Duke Mitchell and Sammy Petrillo. So, you take what you can get, and certainly Lugosi was. So, on that note,
you take what you get. A biography of Bela
Lugosi. You take what you get. Lugosi took the Ape Man. We're going to get into the exciting conclusion, the third act of the Ape Man. So here we go.
Telephone that was always out of order. Well, shall we go in with the galloping ghosts?
Right, so this guy's kind of just forced himself in.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, he came over once, so now he said he wanted to interview her again. So I guess it was just he took it as an open invitation.
That's
No.
still bad, but incrementally less bad, I guess.
But he does want me to work on your brother's case. Has the police got anything definite to report?
No, he's completely disappeared. I don't understand it myself. It's dreadful.
Yeah, suppose work had anything to do with it? Nervous breakdown or amnesia? Anything like that?
I don't know. I was in Europe, as you know. I haven't seen him in over a year.
But his work was difficult, wasn't it? Seems to me I heard something about his terrific experiments.
Yes, he has a very scientific mind.
Just like my uncle.
I couldn't imagine wearing
His house was
earrings
always
like that.
full of
It's
guinea
just
pigs and
every
rats,
time you
even
move your
monkeys,
head,
big
they'd
ones,
shake
too.
around. You just feel the weight on your earlobes. Oh, it hurts
Well,
me
one
to
day
think
she just
about.
up and left them, and I
I never
don't
thought
blame
about our earrings
her. Just
heavy.
imagine opening that door right now. And
Like,
coming face to
do you
face
see? Like,
with
she's
a
got
gorilla.
big dangly ball earrings.
Oh, but I suppose you're used to that
You'll
sort
see
of
what I'm
thing.
talking about.
I understand
Back
that
in
your brother
those
did a
days,
lot
it's
of
like
work on gorillas and
jewels.
apes.
Like, you got heavy ass
Didn't he?
shit.
I wouldn't know.
Surprised they don't all look
those
like,
things with
you
me.
know, like goth kids with
Well,
the giant.
You can't be any help to me.
Giant
I'll
holes
just
in
have
the
to dig up what I
earlobes.
can for myself.
Your gemstone earrings are so heavy that they just they gauge your ears out.
Oh, by the way, Miss Brewster, did your brother have a laboratory here in the house where he worked?
Not that I know of.
Okay, I thought maybe I'd find something there that might give me a lead. Well,
You know, I
thanks,
thought he
and
might have been a
goodbye.
mad
Bye,
scientist,
Mr.
so.
A very clever young man, that.
Yes, I heard.
Always wanted a laboratory in my house.
That's what I'm saying. Basement lab, dude. Instead of a man cave, you just have your own laboratory.
Completely and permanently.
I don't know. But it's useless for him to look to me for any more help. I warn you, I'll go to the police first.
I'm not injecting any more human spinal fluid.
Fucking lingers, man. Lingers.
You gotta get that bush shot for these Poverty Row movies.
You only, yeah. And see, you turn the bush one way, you get one shot. You turn the bush around, you get the other characters, you get the other shot. I mean, probably, seriously.
That's just called being resourceful.
They had to be.
You can't straighten up.
Uh-oh. I need more spinal fluid. Yes.
Sworn off. It wasn't enough.
Yeah, you know, I was thinking this is gonna be a really boring third act if he just cured himself. In
Yeah,
the middle
he's
of the
just,
movie.
and he's not the ape man anymore. Now he's just got this meddlesome gorilla to deal with.
George! Agatha! I must have known!
Bela Lugosi is always very good at being like distressed, I will say. He's always just like, you're just always like, fuck. Damn it.
I need more.
Who would have guessed he's good at acting like an addict?
Yeah, it is funny to think about it in that context. I actually haven't. And yeah, I mean, Lugosi certainly found out the perils of like chasing the high, and that maybe explains partly why he just constantly was, maybe not at
Always
this
looking
point,
for
but
more spinal fluid.
well, yeah, and I think actually the reason that he took the pain medicine was as a result of war injuries. We were talking earlier. Not sure on the specifics of his military career, but I'm pretty sure injuries he sustained in the war is what led to his addiction to painkillers later.
Like so many people.
That's an iconic shot in any gorilla monster movie, ape monster movie, is that shadow. Because, you know, then you don't have to show the costume. But a girl in bed, the shadow, and then she wakes up and she screams. Murders in the Rue Morgue, another Bela Lugosi movie from the 30s. Did
Go
that.
down that way if I were you.
So everybody at home remember that for the next one.
There have been 3 murders committed in this precinct.
and not one single suspect brought in. Where'd that put us? Right on the spot.
They all look like they were committed by the same person, Captain. Outside of that, we haven't got a single thing to go on.
Not a thing, Chap.
I suppose you expect the killer to come in and give himself up, huh? Now listen. Get out and get that guy.
I refuse. Get out of here.
The bears will be chasing up the trees.
I will
Come
not.
on, get out. Get out.
Remember it. Do it.
Do it.
Comfortable?
Well, hello, stranger. Where have you been all week? I thought your draft board had caught up with you.
I've been parked in the bushes outside the Brewster home so long I nearly took root.
Waiting for the galloping ghosts to go by?
No, I've got
The
a hunch
snappy
of something
back and
truer than
forth.
ghosts in that joint.
Well, why didn't you let me in on it?
Because if my hunch is correct, it's no place
Oh,
for
they're
a
not
date in the
nearly
woods
as
like you.
fast as like his girl
Oh, by the way,
Friday,
if you need any more
Cary
bobby pins,
Grant,
you'll find mine in the
you
second
know,
drawer.
any of those screwball. I mean, Katharine Hepburn. They go so fast in those movies. Like, it is insane.
Back then, when they just spoke to each other in one-liners.
I mean, a lot of just snappy, you know, it's how you get laid, right? You're just trading the snappy barbs.
Trading blows. Still
You see
bubbling.
what we got? Plenty of it this time. Plenty.
I wonder if they had something in that flask, or if they'd put something in the bottle to make it bubble like that.
Only chance to become.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know.
Call
I
me
mean,
again.
to make it smoke, I feel like maybe they're using dry ice, but I don't know if dry ice bubbles. Does it? I'm not sure.
Well, what did he say? How soon will he be here?
He's not coming.
He's not coming.
That's what he said.
He must. Do this already. It won't keep. Oh, tell him that, quick.
That's a lot of spinal fluid,
Yeah,
man. Jeez.
You tapped somebody out.
He really did.
You won't do it.
I mean, I guess that's why they're dying. Or they
Alright.
gotta die. He needs it all.
Yeah. It doesn't matter.
James, what are you going to do?
This man's not
You
thinking
won't come
long
here.
term.
I'm
You
going
just
to
drain
him.
somebody
you mustn't
completely of
leave
their
the
spinal
watching
fluid.
I don't care. I'm going.
James, please!
This is the first Ape Man vampire movie I've ever seen.
He's certainly bloodthirsty on a certain level.
What if Dracula had drank spinal fluid?
Ooh, that certainly would have made it a little, I feel like, harder to figure out what the fuck
expecting
happened,
someone else?
right? If a body gets drained of
that's,
blood, I feel
I mean-
like you could probably determine that pretty easy. I feel like spinal fluid. I guess you could probably
touch up on
determine
the
that
hair,
easy
new pair of
too.
lips, and you're as good as new.
I don't know
Where you
enough
going?
about science.
Back to my listening post.
Roosters?
I couldn't tell you.
Can I go with you?
Uh-uh.
Well, why not?
No place for little girls. There's too many snakes,
Nah.
frogs, and lizards.
Yeah,
After Ron, I
a
don't wanna
little,
wait for you.
A little, yeah.
a little, yeah.
Don't wait up
Certainly
for
a little sexism. You know,
Just a little casual
a
sexism.
little casual
There will be.
sexism.
Man, that would piss me off so much if my coworker said, "This
We're
isn't
no
the
nearer
place
to
for
the
little
killer than we
boys,"
were
and then just
before.
walked
We're
off.
like, what the fuck? What are you
All right,
saying
that's fine.
right now?
Come on, kid. Good night, Doc. Good night, gentlemen. Good night.
let's go.
No, I've got a hunch he's expecting somebody. Let's wait around and see.
There you go.
We gotta get more use of this bush.
Everywhere, just we fill the frame. Come on.
I could kill you before they got here, so be careful. It's here, George. Plenty of it. Look, it's enough for half a dozen injections. This time it can't fail. Come on, hurry.
Oh my
You're
God.
going to do it, you hear me? All right. Good. Here.
Yep.
Oh, dead. You're dead. Bitch is dead. Bush. Bush everywhere. Yes, Fresh. I love it.
This has been the second instance of cops smashing windows.
Right.
Stuff that we've watched so far. You shoot out the window by the door, you open up the doorknob. Easy.
Easy. Being
a cop is too easy.
Simple. So easy a child could do it.
Neck broken.
George, quick, he's going.
Who's going to what?
Oh.
Nice. Good save. Good save. Solid. Door's about to fucking come off the, you know.
Hey, be careful, you're gonna pull the set down.
I mean, seriously, it looked like he was about to pull the set down.
Look at that hat.
I know, dude.
What is she wearing?
Dude, so in the book I read, apparently she had to, I know if you, yeah, like, there are some movies you'll see they leave goofs like that with the set in.
If we ever watch an Ed Wood movie.
Right, Ed Wood, you'll see, yeah, bumping into set, doesn't matter. You knock something over, it's fine. But I was, in the book I was reading, that there was a chapter about the making of this movie. This actress said that she supplied a lot of her own wardrobe. Because they didn't really have anything at Monogram.
So do you think that this
plumed hat is hers? Yes, I do.
Plumed pilgrim
Yes.
hat belongs
Absolutely.
to her.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's out of her personal collection.
Bingo. So I guess the police showed up. He didn't have time to take the other guy's spinal fluid, huh? Smart girl. Sorry, woman. I don't need to be following the
this bad example.
His terrible example. Canceled.
Yeah,
Yep, that's it. Done.
Garrett, you're
done. I'm
canceled.
done.
Ooh. Got him.
Classic.
Jeff. Oh, Jeff.
What?
Whoops.
You need to wake up. Jeff, talk to me. No, I can't do it.
Lugosi.
Jeff. Oh! Oh! Oh, help! Help!
Get back. Stay away from my spinal fluid.
My precious, precious spinal fluid is all mine. You can't have it. Come on, you should be able to keep up with, you know, lumbering Lugosi.
The ape
over
man
there.
carrying an unconscious.
Seriously. He's gotta like rock her back and forth because he's got that.
You gotta really sell that he's the ape man. Oh.
She said he was very dedicated to trying to make it believable. You know?
Well, good on him.
Right, right. Take her spinal fluid.
Come on, baby. Give me the place. Yeah. Hurry up.
Who came to Randall to warn him about someone? Now, who was it? Brian speaking. What? What? Okay.
There's been a lucky break in the case.
As quick as you can. There's trouble over there.
It's like,
Take her with you. Come on.
okay, even though like you've had police all around like these crime scenes and like they've been right there. It took the reporters to do the real work.
She needs to use her skill of snappy one-liners.
Right, seriously, just banter back and forth with them. That'll scare him off.
Billy!
Or just do that.
There you go. You just get that wit. Get that wit. Dang.
Go back in there! Go back in there!
Charles, hush. Sorry. Charlie, hush. Oh shit.
Billy! There's a button back there, or a loose panel or something.
Please help me get me out.
There can only be one Ape Man.
And it's going to be me. Because the scariest thing in 1943, besides a Nazi or, someone from Japan, was a gorilla.
Let's be coming back. Come on.
This guy would later go on to reprise his
down in there. I
role
can't open that
in
thing.
that episode of SpongeBob.
She knows how it works. Come on, make her open it up, quick! All right, open it up.
Right, the gorilla. Dang. Yeah, PETA would not like this, would they?
Oh no! Harambe.
R.I.P. Harambe.
Dick's out.
You know, I'm gonna put you over my knee and paddle you good. Don't be a chump.
Yikes.
Hey,
That was definitely
what are you
yikes.
doing in my car?
Can't
Who
say
are you
that
anyway?
these days.
Me?
Can't just casually
I'm
throw
the
it abuse.
author of the story. Screwy idea, wasn't it?
Wait, what? What did he just say?
He said, I'm the author of this story. Screwy idea, wasn't it?
What?
So, remember at the beginning when I said there's an aspect of this ending that's slightly infuriating? It's
What?
that. Remember how that guy was going around everybody and skulking around and doing stuff? That's what it culminates in. That's the payoff. I'm the author of this picture. Screwy idea, wasn't it?
What the hell?
And then that's it.
That is.
It's very whack.
It's very whack.
It's incredibly whack. Yeah, I know. Me
what?
neither. Me neither, Fresh.
It's.
I mean, it's it's really frustrating because when we watch Voodoo Man, there's a little bit of meta, like. The guy was a screenwriter. He writes the Voodoo Man script, and he's like, "Get Bela Lugosi." And then in this, it's like this guy who's literally been like the instigator for the entire plot. Like, remember in the beginning, in the first scene, he's like, "That's whatever Brewster. Go find her." He's like, this guy was going around doing stuff the whole time, and then you figure out it's like, it is like a fourth wall breaking thing, but to the point of like annoyance.
It kind of just breaks the whole thing down, though.
Yeah, which they had no problem doing. I mean, that guy was present the whole time, but it's literally like, oh, it's just a fourth wall breaking thing. So it's
the movie is over.
Maybe that's a twist.
I wrote this movie. It is a movie. Go home.
And it's over, and it's done, and
gosh, I don't know. That almost feels. It almost feels like ancient Greek theater. The chorus comes out and says, "This play is over. Everybody go home."
That's essentially what this is. It's like, all right, we're gonna get very diegetic within the world of the movie. We're gonna let you know, wink, that we know it's a movie, and that's how you know it's over. Like, that's our clever way to end it. And it's like, I mean, this had been done in the 30s. This had already been done, and then in 43, to make that guy like a character in the movie who's literally like in the very beginning pushing stuff along. It really is a cop-out. It is.
That's just so weird. I feel like they could have dropped that entire element
Oh,
and
yeah.
It wouldn't have. It probably would have made the movie better.
It would have been completely fine. But it's meant to be some comedy relief. And, yeah, it really doesn't mean... But honestly, like, going back and seeing it now again, you look back at the beginning, he is literally the catalyst for the whole plot. Because he's the one telling the newspaper reporter, that's Agatha Brewster. Like, go talk to her. Like, her brother disappeared. Like, he's, like, literally...
It's a treat for a repeat watch. I certainly didn't catch.
Yeah, in the very beginning, he is, like, doing things that only an author would, and it's, well, but it's like an actual author would come up with a way that he would be interested in the story, not like have this random character that you don't know why he's saying do this, and then you find out, oh, I'm the author. So it's like, oh, you literally just couldn't come up with a, like, decent way to kick this story off. So you just, like, you have this character you don't explain until the end, you write it off that he has all the answers because we broke the fourth wall. It is... To me, it was infuriating. So,
yeah,
certainly not scary.
The landing there,
no,
not very scary.
Not very scary. Would also agree.
Poor Gorilla. So the other Poverty Row movie we watched, Voodoo Man,
and also Dead Men Walk.
Okay, so all three of those.
That's Poverty Row, different studio. Dead Men Walk was a different studio. But this was the same as Voodoo Man.
Have they all ended with the thing just gets shot and then the movie's over?
Well, I guess yeah, these two have, and the other ones probably a similar ending, I think. There's one that's not. Well, it's kind of similar to this in a way. Yeah, it's usually the cops show up and they shoot the thing and the thing dies.
I wonder what the first movie was where they finally get to, they shoot the thing and nothing happens. It just keeps going.
That's a good point.
What was the first bulletproof monster?
Well, I think it's Frankenstein's monster.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he took a fair amount of bullets, and just, especially in Bride of Frankenstein, I mean, multiple times in that movie, he's taking shots and just plowing through and destroying people, like killing them. Like, that's where the Universal movies, it doesn't compare, because a movie like Bride of Frankenstein, there's like over a dozen kills or something like that. Like, there's just so much to keep you. It is.
What was our kill count for tonight?
The kill count for tonight was like 2 or 3. It was just not.
He's just taking shot after shot after shot.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. These Poverty Row movies don't have the budget for that. So
Me, Frankenstein. It's spring break.
Spring break. He can't go woo. He can only go So, no, I would watch that too. I would definitely watch that. Are you kidding? But no, I mean, it's yeah, it really, with these Poverty Row movies, you just don't have a budget. You got to wrap it up. So these monsters have to be pretty quick to kill, and they usually are.
Do these other movies get meta? So the Poverty Row?
The other ones not so much, I'm pretty sure. These two definitely, but I'm pretty sure most of the other ones don't. Right, it's true. He fucking pounds the drinks down and slams them down, and
I'd party with Frankenstein.
Oh my god, are you kidding? I would definitely party with Frankenstein. Frankenstein's monster.
Of course.
Not to be that guy, but sometimes I have to be. But yes, I would definitely party with Frankenstein's monster. It would be insane. But yeah, so this is what you get with Poverty Row. You get some mad science, you get some ape men, you know, not bad. It's not the Wolf Man. It's not even Captive Wild Woman. It's, you know, Poverty Row putting some hair on Lugosi and trying to, you know, mix it with their formula, which is Lugosi is mad scientist, kills a couple people and then dies at the end. I mean, it's a formula that they have, and they just kind of do it over and over and over again.
It does feel a little weird, like looking back, like, did people find this kind of thing scary? Were they really afraid of ape people? I mean, I guess we still do like wolf people. Like a wolf man is still kind of scary.
It is still kind of scary, and it's always been scary to me. And yeah, I don't know if Ape Men. I mean, I think it was more out of the convenience to do something different, and apes were kind of a similar thing to wolves at that time. So that was
Wolfman came first.
Wolfman was 1941. This was 2 years later. And it's funny that you bring up Wolfman, because next week's film... Segue. Perfect segue. Evan always sets me up without even knowing it for the perfect segue.
The alley-oop.
It's the alley-oop, because next week's film is a little movie called The Werewolf of Washington.
Oh.
And this is a wild movie. I can't even begin to tell you what'll make a lot of sense to you is when I tell you that it's the latest movie that we've seen on the show, and in the crop of the later movies produced that we'll see on the show. It came out in 71, I think. 71, something like that. So
wow.
So we're getting early 70s, getting into the 70s here. We have some public domain movies that far ahead. So it is I would call it a horror comedy. And again, it's Washington D.C., so it's kind of like what happens when somebody close to the president's circle gets bitten by a werewolf. And I mean, it's definitely more horror than comedy. Like, the comedy's subtle. Like, it's more satirical. Like, it's not like the way that I just said, like, what happens if it's not like that. It's like, it tries to be creepy and kind of realistic, and the humor is more subtle, but it's still a lot of humor, and it's meant to be, the premise is meant to be ridiculous, but it's kind of, you know, they play it straight to a certain extent, which is fun. They get all into the werewolf mythos, and it's a good movie. Well, there's some things to appreciate. Unfortunately, there's not like a good quality copy out there at all. Aww. It's all awful. So that's what we'll be dealing with, but it's still going to be a lot of fun. Again, just the benefits of seeing a later movie, certainly more exciting than the Ape Man, I can tell you. More murders. I don't know if there's a lot of blood in it. I could be wrong, but now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if there's too much blood. I got it in the same box set that I got the Ape Man in, so that's another little tidbit, teaser for next week's episode. But it should be fun. I'm excited. Until then, thank you guys so much for joining us this evening. Thank you, Fresh. Thank you, Sierra. Thank you, everybody else who joined, who chatted.
Playing along. Keeping things fun.
Making it fun. It's all about the live experience. The interaction is what keeps us going here. It makes it a lot of fun for us. So we're excited to have you guys participating and enlivening these movies, and you know, also giving us information that we didn't know. That makes it fun too. You guys, you know, it's not easy for me to look up stuff midstream when we have questions, but when you guys do and you bring us the answers, it, you know, makes it all the more enlightening, educational. It's a two-way educational experience. So that's very cool. Well, Evan, anything before we go? Anything before we sign off?
If you ever get the chance, party with Frankenstein.
That's what, if we've learned
At an open bar. Anything
tonight, open bar, Frankenstein, party with them. Summer Frankenstein would be a lot of fun. Hold on to that precious spinal fluid.
Yeah, be careful. You never know who's gonna.
You never know what kind of mad scientist is out there just skulking around a corner, waiting for you to not be paying attention.
Yes.
That is a resort that I would go to 100%. That's what I'd be saving up my money for before anything else. You find that resort, you let me know. I'm there. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Join us for a mini-sode on Wednesday. 2 more episodes of One Step Beyond. 2 more episodes of the stream. If you can't make it for the mini-sode, join us on Friday for Werewolf of Washington. Until then, everybody, take it easy. And we'll see you guys next week.
Carpe Scram, Carpe Stream.
Later.